Let's change gears now. Heading over to Hurricane Beryl, we have been keeping a very close eye on this track as it has devastated many communities. Anywhere from Jamaica yesterday over into St. Vincent just 2 days ago. As we zoom in and we can see this track, it is still strong. It's sitting at a Category 3 right now. The center of it, the max wind sitting around 115 miles per hour as it swirls its way close to the Yucatan Peninsula. Now, as we take a look at conditions anywhere from Mexico all the way over into the Gulf, we're still under hurricane watches and warnings. This remains in effect as we head into the next coming days. Watching this track move its way close to the inland areas of the Yucatan Peninsula, it'll hit around a Category 2. Those are strong winds. It regains a little bit of strength potentially in our forecasted models right now as it re-enters the Gulf, and then we're expected to watch it move slowly up into Texas. So storm surge continues to be a big concern for us, especially near the Yucatan Peninsula, the Cayman Islands, where it's currently over right now. We'll keep a close eye on that as we head into the coming days, and we continue to track the tropics here in the Weather Center as it's going to expected to be a very active season ahead of us. We'll keep you updated on that here, but for now, over to you, Reed.
All right, Jess, thanks. Went got the newest update from Jamaica, where Hurricane Beryl rips through that country. CBS News correspondent Tom Hansen continues what has been days of live coverage. He's at Montego Bay. And Tom, I'm at least heartened to see it looks more placid, a little more tranquil behind you than it has in previous hours.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Reed. But Beryl was relentless and ferocious as it bared down on Jamaica last night and lasted late into the night. Now, when the sun came up, Beryl was gone. We were able to survey some of the damage. What we did see were relatively minor forms of damage. So uprooted trees ripped off of the ground and tossed onto the sides of the roads. We also saw behind me in this marina way over there, we saw about 3 to 4 sunken ships. But overall, the damage far less severe than what we had feared or even anticipated. Now, I want to take a look at the water here. You can see that it is calm and tranquil, as you mentioned, but it is far from that classic electric blue that is so synonymous with the Caribbean. Instead, it is murky. It's a little green from all the sediment that was kicked up from that powerful storm surge that crashed along these rocks here. One of the main concerns, though, and this is new information just coming into us moments ago from the U.S. Embassy, is what you cannot see, which is power. More than half, 60% of this island is without electricity right now. And I can tell you, Reed, it is hot here. It is in the upper 80s today, expected to reach into the 90s here. So that is a huge point of concern. The other thing, as we were documenting those ships that were sunk at the marina, you can smell that the water is definitely contaminated in certain parts with sewage. So drinking water also up in the air, and it's very much up in the air when it will all be restored, the electricity and clean water for the people here, Reed.
More than one camera trained on Jamaica. Take a look at these flooded streets there, up to the tire in some places. Maybe also this video will help you to sort of understand Jamaica and the impacts of the hurricane. We want to show you this video right now, kind of a before and after, a landmark bridge in Kingston. So if you know this bridge, you know what we're looking at, and you know that this is normal. The waters were high at the beginning of the hurricane, but look at that. That's the contrast. The bridge now swallowed by the swollen Rio Cobre River. That before and after contrast really shows you the power that Tom is talking about. Hurricane Beryl buried that bridge.
CNN, we can't get an interview. I've been all over the island from morning now. CNN. Me and my team has been circling the whole island, so we have footage of the hills and we have footage of the flats. So can I get an interview? Them not give interview, the people say them not give it interview. Them not act like them here with people. Fake news people.
Yeah, the storm's still 75 miles away from
75 miles from Kingston now, people.
Jamaica here where we are, moving at about 18 miles an hour.
18 miles an hour, people on the sea flats today.
That's pretty fast, so that's a little bit of good news there, because devastation and
I'll put a bird in the background and fly.
lessened by the fact that it's moving was that it's still a Category 4 storm.
Category 4, look at the bird them.
Winds of 145
Look on the bird them in the background and fly, people. Look at pay a bird to fly.
For the people here, again, if people who haven't evacuated, it may be a little too late already, but again, authorities say they're ready for the storm and that they have opened more than 780 shelters for people who need them.
75 miles away at 18 miles per hour.
Yeah.
A couple of hours that away.
That's a couple of minutes away, man, 75 miles. Yeah, that means I want to so that clear out to
No, that's a couple of hours that I don't know.
Yeah, but what happened now, the water out there see like crazy and the bird, but they disappear like crazy. And why them not interview me, but them fly down the woman and interview she with the bad and the Kingston. You see the wicked. And then the woman bring out her baby at the start.
No interview?
No interview for us? Come on, CNN, we gotta get an interview. We are coming, CNN, come on, we want to go on CNN. We are the stars. CNN, you can't do us that, you can't do us like that.
We gotta run to the next
I love my brother.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah, what's your name?
Raphael.
Raphael. I'm the Maroon Emperor, so whenever you come again, we gotta give you your sovereign documents.
Oh, yeah.
All right, CNN in the building. Safe.
Hey, take care, guys.
All right, love you, CNN. Yes, I see it, people. So one team of them come out and our people. CNN not giving an interview, but vex. But at least we give them a small interview. So they can't. Yeah, we give them an interview, so they can't say, we're the good people. Yeah.
Make them on the tough, make them own news, you know.
Then the more news,
make the own news, you know, the body because I bring Mama from over the rock and Mama tell like say accidentally.
What are them planning? And then she come out there with a baby.
No, but then
Well, on, man. She come out there with a baby.
In the rain.
In the storm. We don't know life jacket.
She's the first person serving at the Georgia House of Congress.
In a Congress. Yeah.
So me listen me.
Safe. We are from Beryl.
It's hard to remain standing because the winds are just very, very powerful. And this is not over yet. We have seen how lots of debris have been blown off in the last few minutes, and also how the roof was blown off on top of that building right there. And the big danger is that there's a possibility of the ocean getting into the street because the storm surge is supposed to rise at least 10 feet.
Provided extra food and water for all the guests.
From what we were just seeing from our reporter, I mean, the winds just looked incredible. I mean, how scary is it, sort of both what you're seeing now, what you're hearing now, and sort of also that sense of foreboding that things could potentially get worse?
Well, you know, we're after being through it and seeing it, you know, it came in really hard and heavy, really quick. But, you know, now it seems like things are starting to calm down a little bit. I know they are talking about some more stuff picking back up. But, you know, right now it's you know, we feel safe. The resort's made us feel really safe, brought out food. You know, we got out, walked around in a little bit. There is a lot of trees down, a lot of limbs down, just debris kind of all over the place.
Yeah, I guess part of the danger might be if there's still more and more rain that we could see landslides and other problems like that. I mean, you're sticking it out there. You're not. You didn't decide to head to a shelter. Why not?
No, you know, the resort that we're at Sandals, you know, they boarded everything up. They made us actually feel very safe here. They brought in extra food for everybody, extra water for everybody. So, you know, we feel actually very safe here at the resort where we're at. We knew we couldn't leave. The airports are closed, so there's really wasn't much other place for us to go.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I just want to let the viewers know we're actually showing some of your video that you shot while you were walking around, as you said. So you just talked about the airport being closed. I mean, any sense of how long you'll be stranded there?
No, we haven't been told anything. You know, we did talk to a couple of, I guess, people who work here at the resort. Biggest thing is tomorrow morning, once it's daylight, really assessing a bunch of the damage, seeing what all needs to be repaired and what needs to be done to get them back up and operational again.
Yeah, I guess you know, sticking it out at a resort like that, you have a lot of advantages there. You know, having seen parts of the country, I expect you must be feeling for a lot of the people in much more fragile shelters who have been really hit by all those winds and possibly storm surge and so on elsewhere on the island.
Oh yes, definitely. You know, we watched the news. We've been lucky we haven't lost any power, but you know, so we've been able to watch and see other things that are going on in other places around Jamaica. And I mean, we were definitely glad for the area that we were in. You know, that we got the amount of damage we did see, and not any worse.
Yeah, that's right. And in the meantime, sort of how is the mood there as people are trying to stick this out as best they can?
I'd say the mood is pretty good. Like I said, Sandals Resort, I feel like they've done really good. You know, keeping everybody, tried to keep everybody entertained, maybe their minds off of it. They had a buffet style lunch for everybody. They had a buffet style dinner. They really encouraged, you know, to go ahead and eat, and they kind of tried to keep everybody lively. You know, they right during the main part of the storm, they was really encouraging people to stay in your rooms or stay in the areas that they had all boarded up and prepared for everybody to stay in.
Yeah. Well, listen, you, as I understand it, are there with your wife for your 25th anniversary. This hurricane definitely not an omen of any kind. Are you taking this in good spirits there?
Oh yeah, you know, I'm here with my wife. We've been, like you said, married 25 years, so wasn't quite what we were planning on our anniversary, but you know, we've spent a little more time together, and I think it's been good for us.
She's a great help. She's a great help. Towards the kids and mommy, so they always have to try.
Pain and sorrow in the wake of Beryl. The hurricane may now be a thing of the past, but for Kay and Sterling's family, it will always be present at the mention of her name. It's the reason why they grieve. Reports are that about 4:45 p.m. on Wednesday, the 32-year-old went to make checks on internet wires at the back of her home in Hanover. During the process,
she was crushed by a downed tree where residents contacted the police immediately, after which the Jamaica Fire Brigade as well as the emergency medical technicians rushed to the scene.
Her spouse and the father of her two sons is the picture of heartache. Before being consoled by the officer, he said their older child, who's 17, is emotionally unwell.
The big one have a hard time. He gets so angry yesterday nobody can control him. So I have to hug him and bring him back around. So I can stay around like that. And now come back around. So come look and tiny look on it. It's a totally different man.
The boy was supposed to be graduating high school, but it was postponed because of Beryl. Now, the younger child, who's 9,
you know, fully in control of what's going on. But he realize the mommy gone. But he cry. And he say, look once.
It was at this moment the father, who was measuring his children's response to the tragedy, learned that he himself was perhaps suffering the most. In the very last moments before the incident, he was atop the house. Miss Sterling was below, trying to outrun the falling tree. But as he recalled,
they said the tree they come and he stand up with the button tree on this side, and I said the tree, and he hear the rope go bow. I'm stand up steady, because I can't move for the house like that. So instead of she stand up same place, I go under the drop tree, she start run to see if she could have run it out. But the bush did and hole her. So it's like he can't move accurately the way she's supposed to.
Her next move?
You see him go down, so like, you know, but right there the tree drop on her and but hurry up and come over the house stop and run good and all me the call and I clear the bush and they come up and realize say the tree drop in her side. And when they remove the leaf on her face, me notice me see blood here so. So from this, you know, me confused, me just run and call everybody on.
Now, warnings from the police.
All the instructions from the Office of the Disaster Preparedness entity, we all to observe them and pay particular attention to areas where are flooded, gullies, areas that are situated with large trees surrounding them. And whenever a warning is given to stay indoor, they ought to do so.
A 20-year-old man is dead and a 10-year-old girl missing after a drowning incident at Sugarman's Beach in Portmore, St. Catherine. It's understood that the child was at the beach with others on Thursday when she went for a swim and got into difficulty. The man was attempting to rescue her when he met his demise.
They started swimming that side first and then them came over Sugarman here and then them went. The little girl was swimming in the water and she got in control because the water was very heavy. You can feel the wind and the heaviness because we had the hurricane pass by the day before.
That little girl about how old?
She was 10.
10 years old.
Yeah. So she got in difficulty and the gentleman went into the water to save her and both of them drowned.
Wake up this morning, taking a walk and see like a little coconut head floating. And I said, that is one of them, I'm missing from yesterday.
Members of the Marine Police and Jamaica Defense Coast Guard are now searching for the little girl.
You know, most small farmers in chicken, they cut steak and make their pen. That's what they afford. Most of these structures have been damaged and the birds have been battered. So it's a major loss. I have not had any reports from the egg farmers, and as you know, we are self-sufficient in table eggs, so I would think that they would suffer some damage. But I was trying to call the president, and I'm not getting any calls out of Trelawney, so I can't really comment, but I think they suffer as well.
The full extent of the damage is still being assessed, but the GAS is urging the government to provide support to affected farmers to help them recover from the disaster.
Yesterday afternoon, we were unable to come to this section of Portland. That's because the roadway leading to this area was impassable. However, we received several videos showing what the situation was like. Now, water from the seas came gushing onto the roadway, and as you can see around me, it's still here. Sand, slippers, water bottles, just about everything is along the roadway. The road is still blocked partially. Sand is still here. Motor vehicles traversing this area have to be hopscotching and just trying to make their way. Earlier, I saw a vehicle almost got stuck in this sand right here. Now, I visited several other communities on my way here and have been speaking with residents. Here's what they had to say.
The sea was at its peak. Some waves higher than I am. It was astonishing.
When you look on and you saw those waves as you talk, tell me what was going through your mind. What were you saying?
I was wondering. I was contemplating whether or not we were going to have a tsunami because I'm way down to the sea. So, you know, I kept looking, watching the sea at all times.
Where do we go from here? Just try to put back our life together. I hope say the people who really need the assistance will get the assistance and not the ones who don't really need it. Because most of the time when these things happen, that is what happens.
Most communities in Portland remain without power at this time. Earlier we saw the Jamaica Public Service representatives carrying out work. We're being told they're trying to clear the blockage from the light poles that toppled before they move to restore power in the area.
I need some urgent help right now. Because the whole of the tree is on my house, right in the middle of the house. And I can't live in the house now. I can't sleep in the house. If rain fall, it wet up right now.
And this farmer says he's still thankful as things could have gotten worse.
Look for the farm, boy. If I get bad liquor, I'm cool breadfruit up on the tree, man. Very liquor, breadfruit.
Over in Grand Spen, what had been a long-standing fear of residents became a reality. Their homes were flooded.
Beryl has done our work. Flood outs. This from off of the road came in my yard, in my home, in the bathroom, through the kitchen, everywhere.
Night about 9 o'clock, we just wake up to clear water and mud in the house right now. The fridge damaged, the generator knocked out, I will have a generator used, and the bed them wet up everything, water reach knee high in the house.
The main road leading into the community is also heavily silted. The residents contend the flooding was caused by improper drainage.
The water doesn't have anywhere to run or to channel through. As I can see, the outcome.
You just see the MP come this morning and the councillor and say them will come back. Well, them send a tractor clean the place, so we don't know how it will be the outcome. And like if more rain come, this will be the same. All of the water that coming from up the hill, look 14 miles away up, so just dump off in a Grand Spen. So we are at the mercy of the water right now. And I stand see the swamp over there come over now, and the crocodile them in there, we don't know where them are going to do later.
Over in the community of Lloyds, appeal for urgent assistance from political representatives.
What are we voting for? Who are representing us here at Swamp Road? We need some help. We need road. We need bridge. Come in, man. Somebody come in, come help us. We have a dead there, so we don't need no representative. When a election time, we soon enough. But in a disaster time, we can't see nobody. This not fair. We need a bridge. We are tired to walk through the water. We are tired to walk over this thing that is very dangerous. We have elderly people up there. If somebody should take sick right now, we have to lift the person from the next community to come over this bridge.
Normally we would have trees. Some would come down because the rooting is disturbed due to landslide. But this time around, because of the volume of wind, we have a lot more trees breaking down and lodging in the road, preventing persons from being able to move around. Electricity is off from the day before yesterday. JPS also would be hampered in moving around. So what we did was to do an assessment of Irish Town Road, the Maryland side, and then the Mavis Bank Road side. This is actually the worst in terms of the inability to move at all. So the equipment will come to this side first.
Because I heard reports of some communities also being marooned because of the landslide.
Warway is maroon. That's a small road off the Mavis Bank Road. Westphalia is maroon. That is way up, so that's going to take us some time to get up into Westphalia. And we just got that report this morning. That report came in at about 10:32 for me, that they're not able to come out at all. So that is it. Prime Minister Holness has given all of us as members of Parliament a directive to go into your constituency, identify and do an assessment of the extent of the damage, particularly because communication is a challenge, and to report quickly so that you're able to determine where resources need to be deployed and what is going to be the cost of recovery. I believe every councillor, every member of Parliament is actually out in their various constituencies doing that assessment. So for senior citizens who may be in need, anybody who is shut-in, anybody who needs medical assistance, those who have had their roofs removed, any damage to home, where we have landslides, where we have tree falls, we are literally out doing that assessment. And to the extent that they can report, the constituency office number 813-5017 is working. They can call at any time or send a WhatsApp. If there are persons across the constituency that all their challenges is that they need electricity, we actually also have a standby generator, and as we move around we can help with at least charging up people's power bank or their telephone so that they can communicate. Many persons are confused by observing the NAA coming through and clearing only one side of the road. Very often the landslides are needed to prevent further erosion. So sometimes they are held there to literally allow the earth which was saturated to drain its water and become solid. And then you can move that other half. So if they notice, it is because the NAA has had the experience over time, and the best and most efficient and strategic way is take out maroon persons, clear half of the road, and then return to complete the process.
I just want to make sure you're all right. All right, I want food chapati. You want chapati? Yes, I want food.
It's Friday, July 5. In the headlines, residents in Harborview and Grand Spen, St. Thomas grapple with the damage left by Hurricane Beryl, and more rainfall expected over the weekend. In business news, the Bank of Jamaica working with banks to restore normality after Hurricane Beryl. Regionally, SEDIMA activates response system for hurricane-affected countries. And in sports, West Indies toil on day 2 on England tour opener. This is the weekend news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says his administration will be providing support to those most affected by the passage of Hurricane Beryl. Mr. Holness did both ground and aerial tours on Thursdays of areas including Old Harbour, Alligator Pond, Treasure Beach and Black River.
When you whip off it, the lady over there stuff me case from going to help me get me across the road because arthritis in the leg. Yes, so nobody so me catch up till this morning, me come out.
Started to see damage to residents when we started to enter areas like Old Harbour and Alligator Pond and here, where I was literally counting in Great Bay and the general Treasure Beach area about 100 homes that suffered roof damage. And being on the ground, you get to see another dimension of the damage, which would be the fallen poles, trees, and some roads that are blocked. Now, for the residents who live in these areas who are inconvenienced and displaced and dislocated, this is serious, and the government will act in a speedy way to assist the recovery process. This aerial and ground tour would have given me a better perspective as to the kind of response we need to create and the speed of the response. Just down the road, we saw a few homes where the roofs were lifted, poles fallen. So the government's response, obviously, is to get electricity and utilities back on board. The government is going to move quickly. We're going to try and do as best as we can. But when that is paired with a victim that has agency, meaning someone who has been impacted, but say, I'm going to take responsibility and do what I can, then the two things work together for speedy recovery. And that is the kind of attitude and spirit that I would like to see from the Jamaican people.
I'm Dark Child. Well, we are currently on Forum Fishing Village in Backward Portmore. Well, it's raining a lot. My business place is the only business place open right now. Yes, and I am about to go and cook some food. Yes. Rain food, you have to have food in the weather. So we just have to go and watch.
To the storm, the nearer to the sea, you're safer. The nearer to the storm, far from the storm, it's more dangerous. So we always stay near the storm. We look for the storm and the storm and look for away. Trust me.
Caramel dumpling.
Okay, that's what I'm going.
Or fish.
And some chicken in there. Chicken, you know?
Then bad chefing, shrimp. Yeah? Bad.
There are about 107 shelters available in Kingston.
We don't go nowhere with them right now. Because the last time them got, it's 2 weeks before the people get even a ride to come over. That's good, that's it.
So you'd rather, stay in your home and...
every hurricane. Don't matter. I leave all America and come for Gilbert. Come secure my place.